haven't started.
I didn't start because I didn't have everything, but now I do, so now I'm starting.
You good? Let's go.
Oh yeah, we don't have an intro,
Yes.
so just rock the regular.
Oh wait, fuck!
Right.
Yes we do. Wait, yes we do. Yes we do. Yes we do.
Oh, we do. Wait, which one are you gonna use?
I'm just gonna pick the first one I see, and because one of these I don't know if we could use, but I'm gonna pick this one. Hold on.
Roger and I did.
I'll review it. Don't worry.
We did do a couple, yeah. I'm saving.
I'm not gonna use the one at Blackburger. That shit was crazy. I don't know why I said that. Oh, okay. I'll use this one. You can use this one, I guess. You're not in this one. Because I did it during your I did it during the performance.
No way.
Yeah. I should have done it when I was on camera, when I was on stage. That's what I should have done. I'm a fucking idiot. That's from the show, bro. And then here's the other one.
Live?
What the fuck
The other
is
one.
this?
Where's the other one? The other one. Oh, this one's crazy.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My stream just.
Oh yeah. We can't use this one, I don't think, but this one's funny as hell.
What is it?
It's on. It's uploaded. It's on my phone. It's the one when we were eating. Where I was like, speaking of.
Nah, that one's funny.
Can't see that shit with
Okay.
Speaking of,
That was crazy.
Hello.
Why is it sideways?
Hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, you can.
How is everyone? How are y'all
We're having a
doing?
good day.
Oh man.
Actually, I could probably.
Hell yeah, sorry, man.
Having a Mario day.
Are you alive?
I'm very happy for Kirby's air ride.
Yes, sir. Me too.
speaking of,
I can't wait.
That was crazy.
Japan time starts.
I'm gonna offer my life up to Sasha.
You can't see that shit
Here,
with black
there we
burger.
go. There we go. I can just do it on my phone. Like,
I mean, McDarren
No, but I mean,
has
like-
editing software open. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
put
got
it with the intro after it.
He's gonna combine it. Yeah, he's gonna combine them together.
oh well, there you go then.
Yo, shout out Blackburger, bro.
Bro, that was not that bad.
Saying, man.
Speaking of, is insane.
That was insane, right? Bro, I was minding my goddamn business, bro. Orchard, how you been, my dog, man? I ain't seen you in 47 years, man.
Shit. I ain't been great,
Oh, for real?
but we
Sorry
hanging
to
in
hear
there.
that, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you how Race to World's first was. Even though I talked to you since then.
Yeah, well, race was good.
I gotta watch the VOD for the Savage. Have you seen any of it? Or at War Champ? I know you haven't yet.
Not much of it, no.
I gotta watch that shit.
Tito, did you call shofu a black burger?
Whoa.
He did.
Whoa, man.
I was like, bro, that was crazy, bro.
You can't be calling shofu that, man.
It's okay.
He's a nice guy,
If
bro.
it's for the, if it's
Burger's
for,
what
if
we
it's for
call
the purpose
Momo.
of comedy, I don't care what he said.
It's,
Okay, let's go.
I
He
know
knows
that.
that.
Never mind.
He is though.
Because I know that. And because he knows that. I know that.
burger
patty and he is black.
Shofu, with that's the logic that people come to my shit with to do their fucking open mic, and then they get on the stage and say something racist in 5 seconds.
Yeah, but
So-
they're
Okay,
not
but I said
That's
funny
the
though.
difference.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
funny
I know,
though.
but they think they're trying to be funny.
Yeah, exactly. They were wrong.
Yeah. We've had this discussion. You can say almost anything if it's funny.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally. But it has to be funny though. But you also got to
Yeah,
know
of
that you got to know your crowd for it to be
Of
funny.
course. And when I'm
Yeah.
looking at Young Burger Patty and we're at Black Burger, I can say that because I know that he's gonna respond like that.
I told a story once where I made a joke, I made a black joke, and immediately when I told it, my eyes like Naruto Sharingan the crowd, and as soon as I saw a black person smiling, I was like, all right, I'm good.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Nah, that's real shit.
You know what's funny? You don't do that with white people. You don't do that with white jokes. You don't even look at the crowd. War champ?
No, you don't do that.
The way he just said no.
No.
That shit is funny as fuck.
I don't see what's racist about the video though. Tito's just saying that Shofu's like he's stacking it up, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck it, make my $100.
That's true. And I regret eating it, not because it wasn't good, but because I definitely caught the itis.
I ate all of that shit, bro. I was starving.
Bro, I was starving too, but I could not.
Shofu stacked up and got that cheese.
I gotta leave for the airport in an hour and a half. Please, let's start, please. I'm dying. I'm begging.
Okay.
Wait, Roger, where are you going? To New York?
New York. Yeah, of course.
Oh shit!
So you got New York money.
I'm jealous of you, but I'll be there next. You're coming to the next week one, right?
Yeah, the one in LA. I'll be there. I will
Yay!
see you there.
Are you gonna be there like during our thing, our session?
No, I'm there. I'm there on Sunday for the LA one, and then I'm there Friday for the Switch one that's in New York. Yeah, and then in the
So
evening
then
I
you
have
lied, because then you
thing.
won't see us there.
What do you mean? You literally said that when you guys are in town, we're gonna go get dinner and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? We literally said we're doing
Fucking
that.
charge $100 for Mario Kart. I don't care anymore.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Where did that even come from?
Mega, start, I gotta get on a plane, bro. Please,
Yo,
I beg of you.
Give me a segment.
Please.
Roger.
What?
We're gonna have overtime anyway. I know we are.
Well, why
What?
do you have to leave during the show anyway?
It's
so-
nothing.
What do you mean nothing? It obviously was something. You said Roger, like you were frustrated.
It's just you're yelling and it's just, I don't know. What you're doing right now is coming off as very racist.
What?
Racist? Against who?
Against everybody in this call. And I
I
need you
feel
to
that. I
tone
feel
it
that. I
down.
feel that. I feel that. I feel
All
that.
right, you ready? We ready? I'm starting. I'm starting.
Go
I'm
ahead,
starting.
go ahead,
I'm
go
starting.
ahead,
I'm
go
starting.
ahead.
Just. Oh, I can't hear this shit. The fuck? Is that the wrong one? Oh my god. That's the wrong screen. Ah! Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Where's the fucking sound for this shit? Is this shit muted? That shit wasn't playing anything. Can y'all hear this shit?
Hold down, hold down, hold
Yo,
down.
ain't no sound on this intro, bro.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Well, what's going on, everybody? Roger's Base here. Hello.
I'm gonna just play
Hold it back. It hasn't started.
I'll hold it back.
I'm gonna just play the regular intro, bro. Oh my! You know what? Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
Hello and welcome to a special emergency edition of the Japan Time Podcast. I'm your host, Rogers Base. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Shofu. What is going on, Shofu? Are you excited?
Yeah.
I said, are you excited?
Yeah.
I said, tell me, are you excited?
Listen, boy, I'm rubbing my hands together right now as we
Why
speak,
did you
bro.
like? You became a pastor.
I became a pastor.
Pray for me.
Well, that's because today I'm preaching. Today I'm preaching the
Preaching.
good law of Nintendo. Today, we are joined with a stacked cast. Everyone is here like the Smash Brothers game that didn't get announced today. We got Aru. We got Fidel. We got McDareth. We got Coast. We got Ricky. We got Tito. We got Viram. We got Zeph. And oh, Lord, praise God,
Hello?
we have War Champ 7.
Hallelujah.
Hello, War Champ. How are you?
Back from the dead.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So this is what happens when you don't get sleep.
Right, exactly. I have been up for 36 hours at this point now. But obviously, this morning we had the big Nintendo Switch 2 Direct presentation. Everything was revealed about the Nintendo Switch 2 except for the price. And we're going to get into all that on the show today. How do you guys want to do this? You want to start with the opening of the Direct?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
sure, why not?
All right. Obviously, the show opened up. Direct opened up, and we finally got our first glimpse at the Mario Kart game that was teased during that initial Switch 2 reveal. The game is called Mario Kart World. The game has up to 24 racers, and the most important thing, 24, and the most important thing, young Burger Patty Moo Moo is in fact a playable character in Mario Kart World.
That
this
might
time
gotta be the
around.
main, bro.
Of course.
But I gotta see
So
what
how
the
do you guys
characters
feel
are.
about Mario Kart World? They got the penguin. They got actually there was a
No.
picture I
How many
posted.
characters do you think this game is gonna have?
A lot.
I think 60. I think there's already 50.
I proposed the
people
terrible theory of all of these, like, we saw like the dolphin, a crab, a bee, but then we also saw that small picture of the character select screen, and it made me think that it's quite possible all of those like throwaway type characters are just CPUs to fill, because you know how the races have to be so huge now.
Sure,
It's
sure.
just CPUs to fill, because like they you can't give all those guys costumes. It's so much work.
But they all have tricks and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're all doing their little animations.
Yeah,
I saw the
think
Bitty Bug
that's-
do a trick.
Yeah, you're right. But it's
no,
just
here's
the
the thing.
costume that fucks it all up.
But Zeph, I think that is a good point to bring up. But I also think like I don't think every person or every cast member has the same number of costumes. I think those guys are gonna have like 2 or 3, but then Mario's gonna have 8 quadrillion. But like, and then everyone will be somewhere in between. Like, I don't think everyone has to have the same either.
Do we know if the costumes do anything?
It looks like
a
those
little-
are power-ups.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you,
it's like a
you
wonder
get
flower
them,
effect, isn't
you
it?
get them from the pit stop. So remember, like in the first show, you saw like that orange bag at that pit stop. It seems like Mario gets the burger, and then when he eats it, he gets that like fit, and maybe the fit gives like a different item or power up.
I mean, we literally see like
This is
Birdo
different
at
than
that
the
one
ones you
point
get in the
driving
box?
the. Yes, yeah. It's like it's based on whatever the course is. So like you see Birdo driving the back of a semi truck at one point, and then just run over a bunch of racers with the semi truck.
Even there's one where Mario is wearing like a sumo outfit and like he does like a sumo pose on his trick. So even the costumes, they went that far to give them like custom tricks, it seems.
There's a lot of wild stuff in this one too. There's like rail grinding. You can see the rail grinding
Wall
with
jumping.
the
Dude, the
wall
Princess
jumping.
Peach outfits are so cute. I want them
And there's a
all.
lot of them.
You can be
They
a
are.
plane. You can be a boat.
What was the thing that someone Zeph? Well, before the show, me and Coast were talking about. There was like, in addition to the tracks, there's X amount like with the map. Like, do you want to throw up? Show if you want to throw up that map that we have in chat. It's like of
Oh, the
all
one where it's like
yeah,
the
all
different
the
ways you
different
could go
ways to
across the
connect-
map. Yeah.
to go across this kind of additional map. I want to run a quick theory by everybody as to because the price and why I think the price is the way it is.
For Mario Kart?
Yes, because the price is 80 bones, $80 dues American, so that's about 200.
So you buy the bundle.
Canadian. Yeah, so it's about 210 Canadian. I do think that because
That's not accurate.
I think they're charging up front.
It's not far off.
I think what they're doing is they're charging up front for the DLC because I don't think, I think the DLC for this game, I'm going to make a hard read. I think it's all free. I think it's all free downloadable content because I think that with you had the kind of ability to add additional old tracks and repurpose old tracks from the from previous games, right? Because all you would do is just port them over, but you literally can't do that in this game. You literally can't add additional tracks without completely restructuring the game.
Weren't there a couple of old tracks like Toad's Factory? I think is in
There's
this one.
there's
and then
DK
another one.
Summit.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
I
a
mean like
tournament.
1-to-1. I mean like 1-to-1, right? Like
But
you can't. Yeah, go ahead.
Is there? Actually, no. You keep. My bad. Just continue with your.
No, basically what I'm saying, the way that it's presented to me, with the layouts, how it's all like you're supposed to be able to drive off, and every track is basically being designed to like be able to like take a myriad of paths. You don't have to just do whatever the fuck you want. You can do whatever. Any tracks that they would be returning are not going to be like 1-to-1. You have to remake a lot of these tracks to fit here.
Make them fit in there.
So that's where I think that it kind of ties to they're not going to do this expansion pass where it's like, hey, look at all the GameCube, all the Double Dash shit's going to be. No, because you can't do that. So instead, they're going to charge you up front for all the dev that they know they're going to do later on. Is where I think the justification of the price point is coming from their end, because otherwise, and I'm only using that as a additional point because we know as well Donkey Kong is $70. So
right.
Donkey Kong is the regular quote unquote now standard price point. So the only justification for this being like $10 more is that if they're just charging you up front for DLC, they're going to give you for free. So it's not really free. So
yeah,
that's my theory.
I was gonna say like because they already announced they're doing the direct for it on April 17th, and I think that's where they're gonna like quote unquote like justify it. Like they're gonna lay out like all their features. I think they're gonna be like everything is free.
It's gonna be. I just think this conversation's impossible to have because was Tears of the Kingdoms it was
$70.
Yeah. It was 70,
So that was their first game that they were willing to price above normal, and I think it showed pretty well for it. But like I don't know. I have to actually see more because this is the first time they're doing this, and if the work reflects, I don't know, man.
I also kind of feel like they're doing it because they can. I feel like they're launching with Mario Kart. They know people want it. They know they'll pay more. And then
because I think this is the first game
you
to
gotta
just be
somewhat
flat
justify the price.
$80.
Can't just be that.
Yeah.
They do. They know that.
Because it's basically the first big game to be $80.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
been
they did
70.
say, they said during this direct that there's going to be a Mario Kart World Direct specifically on April 17th. So this is after the first 2 weeks of the Switch 2 experiences, the one that's in New York and the one that's in LA. And so that Wednesday, or I believe at like 6 a.m., they're going to have a big direct outlining the game. The one other interesting thing about this, I really liked that new knockout mode. Because I don't know, for any of you who play F-Zero, I mean, that's literally straight up F-Zero 99, like where you're trying to get to the top, and then like if you don't rank high enough, you just don't get through it. That's going to be awesome.
So it's
Mario.
just battle royale.
Yeah. That's very good content. Get 24 people. That also helps like with that to me justifies the 24-person races more than anything else.
I agree.
Like I think the reason why you could do 24 is because you have this knockout mode, because you go 24 to 16 to 8.
So one thing on top of the like we're talking about the content and stuff. Here is a map. I posted it recently. Here.
Yeah.
There's some kind of hub level in the center, and then there's 116 total routes you can take.
Are we assuming that's Mushroom Kingdom, or that would be the equivalent? Is that what we're assuming?
I guess.
It looks like it.
Which right in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very Princess Peach Castle.
Yeah. That's Peach.
Because there's a Princess Peach track in the game. That's like the headliner.
Like I think they're going full Diddy Kong Racing.
That would be incredible. I mean, I would love that. I also love Viram. I did not see this photo of Daisy before. That Daisy is really good.
I
Some
fully
of the
expect
look like the boats and everything look great.
I fully expect the direct to have them reveal things like boss fights.
Oh, like you mean like CTR boss fights?
Yeah, or even they had boss fights on Mario Kart DS too.
Oh, you're right. They did. I forgot about those.
But I could see them doing that. There could be one where you like something with the Wonder Seed. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff they could.
Does anyone not like the logo and the font change to the placings? That's just me.
It looks
I feel
to me.
indifferent. I feel indifferent about it.
I like the logo. It's not the same. It's definitely
a-
different. There's more of a stroke aesthetic to it, but I like it.
There was one thing I noticed about the logo that I'm gonna post, but they almost exactly copied the letter coloring for Super Mario World.
They would have. It would have been like that on the Super Nintendo if there wasn't color limitations.
Yep.
I saw something where it was they were gonna call the Switch the Super Switch.
That and then it would have sold 2 consoles ever.
Some of the vehicle designs, though, like I'm looking at the key art right now. That's at like the 5-minute mark of the trailer where you see all the different characters.
Like the Bullet Bill one.
Yeah, the Bullet Bill one is great. Like the Bowser Jr. like bomber plane or whatever looks awesome. All the little boats and everything. All the different types of vehicles. I don't know if they auto transform or what, but like I really genuinely like the look of it. Yeah, all the Peach outfits. Like I know Ara mentioned that earlier, but like you've got the Boo outfit for Peach. You've got like the little Sunshine one. You've got the racer outfits. They look great, man.
Can I give a second big brain theory?
Oh,
I'm running, which is just because of the way they are presenting the information, they made a big deal about it, about how you can go wherever you want, take these scenic, like they're having you take pictures and I think there's going to be a quasi, like proper story mode, like where you're going around these different tracks and you're talking to NPCs and you're like collecting. There's collectibles and there's hidden treasures, and like I think like they want you to explore the map in a real way. So like I would not be surprised if like the single player experience like is one outside of Grand Prix. I think it's like, hey, like go find these shits. Okay, now do a race. Now go.
So
like,
eating the burger changes your costume, right? Sorry, I was looking at the key art.
Eating the burger changes the costume.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that works? Okay, sorry.
Also, I just happened to look in the I just happened to look in the chat too. I just saw this posted. Apparently, Nintendo has a plan to challenge Switch 2 scalpers. It's limiting its own pre-orders to Switch 1 owners that have an active Switch Online membership and have spent a certain amount of time playing, purchased, or paid games, prioritizing people with more playtime. That's great. I love that.
That's crazy cool. That is
Yeah, I love
insane.
that.
They should do that more often.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun when scalpers get a bunch of stuff and then Nintendo fixes the problem after the fact, and then they have all this stuff and then they wasted the money and then they have to face the void.
That's great, though. I love that. Well, one thing that's probably going to face the void is that weird Nintendo Switch Welcome to Nintendo Switch Tour game.
Why isn't that on the
I have no idea.
The fact that that's paid
is buying that game.
What happened in the days of Wii Sports?
Oh
and
yeah, I
Nintendo?
was shocked that it was paid.
We were watching and we were like, it's like, oh, there's like a manual for your Switch. And then they were like, pay it on the eShop. I'm like, no one's going to buy that.
I'm not paying money.
They could have showed me something that I would want to buy.
Bro, they showed me a gameplay of you talking to signs and it says, the Switch 2 uses magnetic rails. Like, oh, thanks.
Well,
I just watched the direct.
It just seemed like a fun interactive user manual for people that like tech and stuff, or like want to grow up to like build, I don't know, consoles or something. And then they said, "Oh, this paid game." I was like, "Paid? What?"
Yeah,
if I was a kid, I'm sure that would have been something very interesting to me.
Because when we first saw it, we were like, "Oh, it's like Astro Bot, where like you get to play around with like the inside of the
like a
console."
playroom type thing.
Yeah, and because there's mini games and stuff. And
if Sony has that down better than you, something's wrong.
It's funny that they specifically mentioned that you have to buy that game too. They already thought that we thought it was going to be free.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly.
But during that game, they basically, with that game reveal, they revealed a bunch of other new aspects about the Joy-Con, obviously confirming the mouse controls, which was very cool to see. They showed that the new dock has a cooling fan in it. It's going to have 256 gigs of memory. It can output to 4K in docked mode. It's 1080p on the screen.
Yo, I got to say, seeing a Pokemon game in 4K 60, I could not believe what I was looking at.
You know what, the 4K, it was 60 FPS, but I don't know about that 4K.
Okay. Metroid.
Metroid definitely was.
Yeah, but they made Metroid looked good.
Game Freak is the worst dev on planet Earth. Like, holy shit. Like, literally, when you watch Metroid Prime 4, looks incredible on that system. It looks great, especially compared to what we saw the other day or whatever. And then they go to this ZA gameplay, which is the gameplay. We've seen that rooftop 4 billion times, and it still looks like dog shit.
But
oh my god!
But it's in 60 FPS now.
Yeah, it is. It is smooth. It is smooth. No, I give a fuck. But those games,
No,
I was happy
they-
it's running smooth.
I mean, shit.
like you're
that's something, for
seeing,
sure.
even like
the
seeing
ZA
Breath of the
gameplay
Wild-
was literally the only game they showed where I was genuinely shocked about the performance change.
I was more
like,
shocked that they
holy
didn't
shit.
get a Switch 2 edition because knowing Pokemon, you know, a lot of the time they'll end up releasing their games on the system prior to the new system. We saw this with like Black and White 2 with the 3DS, and they've done this historically a lot. And obviously, it like made sense that they would do a Switch 2 edition for this because essentially this game is going to come out. We all presume holiday season, so the Switch 2 will already have long been out by now. So of course they're going to want to do one. But I don't know. I just assumed that they weren't going to, and then maybe it would get like an upgrade or something, because there was basically a thing. There was a lot of information. We'll just start this whole conversation. There's a lot of information that was not in this direct at all. Like, did you guys know there's achievements in the new Breath of the Wild?
That has an asterisk at the very end.
Is that retroactive?
I don't think it's retroactive. No,
I'm
not.
pretty
It's
sure
if you
this
buy
is
the
purely
enhanced
for Zelda.
Because they're doing,
it's not in the game. It's part of the Zelda notes on the new
they're
Nintendo.
doing a thing where like some games are just getting upgrades, and then some are getting paid upgrades, but they all have like quote unquote like added content. Like Kirby's getting it with added DLC, and that's going to be like paid content. The Jamboree update.
So actually, I'm glad you bring that up. I could give the exact games. We got the ones that are going to get Switch 2 editions, which we actually discussed on the last show, the idea that they're going to be doing this. The Switch 2 editions are the paid upgrades to games and are not just going to be like free firmware. The Switch 2, well, yeah, they're kind of, because that's another thing they didn't really talk about. The Switch 2 editions are Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I was super happy they're doing Tears of the Kingdom too. I really thought it was just going to be Breath of the Wild. We have Metroid Prime 4. We have Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We have Pokemon Legends ZA. And then what's the last one I'm forgetting? I think it was the first one. Mario Party.
The upgrade to ZA is going to cost money?
No, so the thing is, if you have a Nintendo Switch Online account, the upgrades are free of
So it's going to
charge.
cost money.
It's like,
it's
going to cost
Wait,
money.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
If you have the information in front of you, is it a regular Switch Online membership or Plus?
It is,
okay.
It is the expansion pack. So in addition to that, and I'm Roger, I think this is where you're going, was where they didn't even talk about this. Is that if you have the expansion pack, which is basically if you're paying for the emulator part of the fucking online, which is really the only big difference, which is it's like the difference. I think it's like 50 versus 70. I think it's something like that USD. You get already for free, quote unquote, you get both Zelda games upgraded to Switch 2 already. Correct. And in the image, they show all 5 games. So I'm making the assumption that you get everything that they announced with the membership upgraded for free, but that doesn't mean anything else. But I'm just
hold on. It is not if you have NSO plus expansion that you get all those upgrades free. It is specifically Zelda.
No. They mentioned Zelda by name, but the image that they're showing shows all of the games.
Right.
Because it says NSO plus expansion members get access to the following upgrade packs at no additional cost. And it's showing an image of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. But the website itself, where it shows the list of like the upgrades, the assumption, again, this whole thing is really confusing. I don't know why they didn't just like straight up say it.
Because to me, it makes sense that those two would be free because those don't have extra content. It's just, it looks better. Whereas like Kirby and the Mario Party one makes sense to be
there
paid
actually is
because
extra content. So with Breath of the Wild and with Tears of the Kingdom, they've added new like memory voice things that were shown on the website with Zelda. So there's like more story content that's added. No, I mean, it showed on the app about it, but like it's in the game itself. And the other thing is too, is that with Tears of the Kingdom, with the new upgraded version, you can share QR codes of your creations. So you no longer like have to guess how somebody made it. You could basically just like, I made a Metal Gear. I could share the QR code for the Metal Gear and then you could download it into your game and start making the Metal Gears for yourself. Which is actually a cool new upgrade. Yeah.
I didn't realize Kirby had a release date.
So they added Uber into Zelda as well.
Wait, what?
There's like voice.
App.
Yeah, like a map
yeah. There is. Yeah. So they added like a roller coaster mode and like a Bowser TV mode to Mario Party, and that's coming out in July. They are adding the Zelda Note stuff to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Did they give a date for that? Did they give a date for either of those games? My assumption is it's going to be
the
pretty
website
soon.
says June 5th. When
Oh,
Zelda gets
wow.
upgraded.
Day one. Great.
Yeah,
Okay,
the website
cool.
says June 5th.
Cool. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting a new story thing, which is the Star-Crossed world.
That
and
says
there's like
August,
a new
August 28th.
August 28th.
Looks
Metroid
sick.
Prime 4 Beyond. Did they give a release date for that in this?
No, still no date on that.
no
Which I
date on
shot.
It's probably winter, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah. I feel like Metroid and Pokemon are probably both like holiday games now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think like September,
Pokemon's been
probably
holiday
for
for a long time.
Metroid.
Yeah. It is crazy though. Like we'll get to this once we start talking about more of the games. I do feel like because of these Switch 2 edition things and the stuff that we've already seen that's like dedicated this year for Switch that's like a new game, I feel like this lineup is ridiculously strong. Like if you're assuming that like you're gonna get Switch 2 and you're probably not gonna get like Metroid Prime 4 or Legends on Switch 1, right? You're gonna want to play it on the new system. That's launch year. We're getting Mario Kart, Metroid, Pokemon, and then the other two big ones.
Kirby's Air Riders too.
Earlier. Well, exactly. Right. I mean, we could jump ahead to there if you want, but there's like a lot of other information. I figured we go in order.
Off the Switch 2 versions, I did also was reading as well that it is basically confirmed via multiple sites because like IGN had to like post it, but then they had to take it down, and then like because they were not allowed to post it until the Nintendo site posted it. It was weird, but like so it looks like they're gonna do split tier pricing for the upgrade. So if it's just like additional small things like just performances, a lot of games are just doing a free patch. Like Scarlet and Violet is just a free patch.
Yeah, which
ARMS
is
is getting a free patch too, which is super funny that's one of the games getting it.
Also, it's soft confirmed that they're porting Woolly World.
I saw that. Yeah, that was on the
They
website.
found an image where it said like Woolly World is an enhanced game, and so I guess that just got soft confirmed.
For random.
Yeah.
And then, but then you have but you have proper Switch 2 editions that have like this like $10 price point upgrade. But then games like actual like Kirby, for example, that have actual content, they're going to be $20.
Oh, there's a price chart. I didn't even know.
Yeah, so I've been trying to find it because it got taken down, but that was one of the price charts I saw. I don't know if that's real because they haven't told us anything.
Well, actually, while we're on the topic still of like Switch 1 games, I do think this is a good opportunity to sneak in a couple of the announcements from the surprise direct that happened last week, because obviously the Switch 2 is the new hotness. All of us want to talk about the Switch 2 stuff, but there were some games that were confirmed during the Switch 1 direct that they surprised us with last Wednesday. Two of those games being the revival of two long dormant franchises of Nintendo. We are getting a new Rhythm Heaven game in 2026,
Yes,
Rhythm Heaven Brew, which is going to be for Switch 1, and also, obviously, you'll be able to play it on Switch 2. Thankfully, Sunku, who is the artist who does all the music for Rhythm Heaven, cancer's in remission, so he's down to do the games again, which is great. And the other game is the return of Tomodachi Life, which I know a certain someone in this call was not a fan of, and I want to ask why.
Listen, man, I just didn't know. I didn't know Tomodachi was about that life.
What?
How did you not know?
Fuck Tomodachi.
I don't. I think when did Tomodachi Life come out? Was it like
3DS?
I guess so. I never knew about the DS version, but the 3DS one, I think it came out like
2016. I think 2015.
That sounds right. 2016.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I saw it as like, oh, it's like another like Street Pass like game that's like a full game, and I saw some clips of it. But it was more I didn't know that it was that big. Like I looked it up, but it sold like 6 million copies, and like it has a crazy cult following. Like
to put in perspective how crazy the following for this game is. Obviously, it's always sold very well, but it broke the record for the most liked tweet announcement of a game in the history of Nintendo. It's surpassed Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is the current top one back when it was like Smash Brothers for Switch, and now Tomodachi Life surpassed it by like a lot. Surpassed it by a couple,
like 360,000
thousands of likes. Yeah, right. But there were a couple other things in that Switch 1 Direct. There were like Sony games are now getting ported to Switch, so things like Patapon and Hot Shots Golf. Those games are going to be coming. Was there anything else major from that Switch 1 Direct? Or could we just like keep the train rolling with Switch 2?
I think most other stuff popped up in the Switch 2 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Metroid Prime 4, for example, where we got to see the stuff with like Samus is a psychic now and has a cool red and black outfit, looking pretty neat.
What's that about? Yeah,
she's gonna give you testicular torsion, Ricky. That's what it's about.
Right on.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I just needed to know.
Right on.
Don't get
Right
him excited.
on. What
Don't
the?
get him excited.
What the fuck?
Yep. I'm all
I was
about
trying to make a segue with the two mice, and then I just realized I couldn't do it. But either way, the next thing they showed in the Switch 2 Direct today was the fact that you can actually use both Joy-Cons at the same time as a mouse. And they announced this with a new game called, what is this? It's called Drag and Drop or something, or Drag and Drive.
Drag Drive or something.
It's called NBA Streets Volume 1.
And it's NBA Street Wheelchair Basketball meets Rocket League. And it actually looks pretty fun.
This game looks fire. I'm copping.
It seems like it's giving off a little bit of ARMS vibes to me.
Don't say that.
Right.
The only way
I wanted to get the game. Now I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, see,
the only way I'm buying this game is if there's LeBron DLC.
LeBron. You want LeBron?
LeBron James.
I'm talking about the man on the Lakers.
But it looks fun. It looks like it's 3-on-3. You use the little mice to basically drag them across whatever the table or whatever, and then you use that to.
Yeah. So, dude, when I was watching that, I was literally thinking to myself, a lot of people are gonna have to change up their like gaming setups if they play the Switch 2, because not everyone has a table right in front of them when they play their games.
Well, I think can't you just do it on your leg?
You don't need a table, right?
You
don't
better get a TV tray.
Well, either way, like there's gonna be some adjustments people will have to make.
It's not the only
to
way.
play those
I have
games.
legs at my gaming setup, Coast. I have legs at my gaming setup. I can use this new thing.
What are you saying right now?
I don't think it's going to be that much of a change. I don't think it's going to be. You don't need that much of a change to use this.
I think it depends, because like they were talking about precision of like how you tilt it and then all that stuff. If you're trying to be precise, then I agree with Coast. Having a table would be a little better, more beneficial than using your legs.
You're definitely gonna be able to play this game with like the 2 joysticks.
I think.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a mode where you can just play with traditional controls too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's the other thing is they announced the Pro Controller during this. However, shockingly, the Pro Controller does not split. So for those of you who've been following the Nintendo news, there was a patent about 2 months ago in which there was a Pro Controller patent where the controller splits in two. And the assumption was that for the Pro Controller, you could also use the mouse capabilities. But the Pro Controller that's revealed here does not have that. It has the C button that does the, in-game chat communication with that camera peripheral thing. But there is no like mouse capability with this new Pro Controller. Instead, there are 2 buttons on the back. There's like GL and GR. And those are going to be used for additional buttons.
Programmable buttons, by the way, which
Yep,
is very
yep.
nice.
Same price as the old controller too, which is also nice.
Yep. And actually,
Lots of
speaking of
insane
programmable
stuff I never
buttons-
expected from Nintendo happening right now.
So what do you guys think of the camera thing with the camera? And
I called it.
It wasn't on your bingo.
Yeah, I put it down.
You literally put a camera on your bingo?
I said Nintendo's gonna have a camera on the Switch too, but I didn't expect it to be an external one. No, you didn't.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He wouldn't say it so violently
gotta be all
if
that?
he didn't tell you.
And the camera thing is one of those things I feel like they're gonna use for 1 or 2 games and then never again. Like
The cameras,
I think
the
Mario
cameras.
Party-
If they are no. If they're advertising it that hard, they have plans to incorporate it into way more.
There's probably going to be games just
No.
specifically for that. Too.
You guys, hey
I
guys,
just like,
like maybe
that's what
bullshit
Nintendo-
games, but it's
but that's what
just all-
Nintendo
hey, guys,
does,
were
bro.
wondering if there was a WarioWare on the Switch 2.
Okay,
Well, guess
what's
what? There
happening?
is, and it's for the camera.
Name the last time Nintendo did that.
Bro, the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons have a whole camera sensor, and they use that like
Is
in
everyone
2
just having a
games.
conversation with themselves?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Okay. Let's bring it back. Somebody explain.
Yeah, I was like, who was saying what? I didn't know what was happening.
I think
We were talking about the camera thing, right?
Yeah, the
We're
camera.
talking about the camera thing.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's like Nintendo. Yeah, like Nintendo's not the company that puts out a peripheral. Very often, it has happened, and then just drops it. They normally release a couple things for it at least. They try something to try to make it.
Yeah,
work.
they'll try and then kind of leave it. I mean, to be fair, it's
like
a camera,
the
so it's
Nintendo
just
Wii microphone.
yeah, like it's a camera, so you could just theoretically just have it on. But it's I feel like I'm glad they're finally doing like actual voice chat.
Sure.
The video was kind of embarrassing for them to purposely show like the videos and have
the
like
240p
people's
chugging and
games.
stuff. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, chugging. Like I'm like, why would you show this? I feel like this is just makes it look bad, you know?
I want to watch slowed down gameplay.
I'm pretty sure they
probably
have like
worse than in person.
I'm pretty sure
couldn't
they have
get
like
rid of
some
that in post.
resources reserved for the game chat shit, so that like the game is minimally impacted.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was noticing. Like their screens looked like ass, but the main screen of the game still ran.
It still looks fine. Yeah,
It's
for
probably
sure.
the
Because that's yours, you know?
It's probably the same thing as when you record or screen share your shit.
Yeah,
and it looks
sure.
terrible.
Little janky, yeah.
Yeah.
But the microphone was weirding me out because basically it's using this tech in it where it can noise cancel anything in the background and then
I
also
don't
game
trust
audio.
that
Noise
shit,
Because,
bro.
yeah, me neither. I'm like, how the hell is that going to work? Because
No,
it's
it's
built
not.
into
It's
the
built
actual
like
system
that.
itself, and they kept
It's-
showing it's not a peripheral. It's like in the actual system. I'm like, that
Yo, did you
cannot
see
work.
that other feature
No,
they
that's-
showed where the guy muted the mic to take his phone call? That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy,
Shit was
man.
hard. Shit was insane, bro.
Hold on, guys. I have a call coming.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
but
could-
what kind
you
of
could
smoothie
mute
would-
your mic. I can't believe they actually highlighted that as a feature, bro.
Yeah,
What kind of
muting
smoothie was
thing,
that guy making though? Anyone know?
Probably a
It looked
poison
like it was
smoothie for anyone who's
Looked like
watching the White
strawberries,
Lotus.
right?
Yeah.
Looked like
Yeah.
extra
I don't
snack.
remember with this console. I forget in the specifics. Is the processing power, is it AMD or NVIDIA? Like for the GPU?
This is.
I don't know if that
NVIDIA
information's.
No, this is an NVIDIA
No.
chip, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, okay. Because I'm wondering, is NVIDIA has that tech? Like they have their software that uses the tensor cores or something on your GPU to do noise cancellation and cut out stuff in the background.
Oh
like I
yeah,
was using it for a while.
everything they show was like NVIDIA, like
Yeah.
AI bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring that they were going to end
And
up
I-
using.
I don't want to go on a tangent, but I hate how AI has become this catch-all for a lot of shit because it is used to describe so many different things now, and they're all very
Yeah, because
different.
some moron is gonna think that
Put
that
the
what
word
you're
generative
talking
in
about is
front of it.
inherently bad because you use the words AI.
Yeah,
But this
like-
feature is not. There's nothing problematic about it, right?
There's literally nothing
No,
bad.
it's-
No, it's just
Yeah, there's nothing.
it's
Exactly.
AI stuff, but it like the quote unquote bad AI stuff that's out in the world is generative AI. That's the boogie monster right now for a laundry list of reasons.
That's like all the Ghibli stuff that was on Twitter.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, that happens since we had
because
podcasts.
all of those things are trained on what is essentially a bunch of stolen art, and it's like it's moral and ethical concerns, and then also the processing power required to do that stuff is insane, and climate stuff, energy concerns, blah 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 blah. But when it comes to like these kinds of AI things, like AI background removal, that is definitely something that they're using here.
Yeah,
AI noise suppression or noise cancellation, like that's
your phones all have this shit.
it's an AI model that has been trained already, and then the training data is just put on the chip, so like it can just do it because it has all of the shit to work with already. Like it's not doing this insane computation shit.
Okay.
But yeah, like everything that they were showing is just like run of the mill NVIDIA AI tensor core stuff.
I don't think they
that
even
NVIDIA does.
specifically mentioned the fact that they're definitely using DLSS for 4K.
In some cases, almost certainly. I
don't think they ever mentioned that, which is certainly weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there will be some games that do actually run natively at 4K.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure there's a couple, but
there's going to be
no.
a pile of
It
games.
seems
that-
like
that
I
are
feel like
just upscaled.
Metroid's the one.
Metroid's the one that'll be native.
Yeah, I think Metroid's the one that's
Yeah, I
native because
agree.
the level of comments they have like with the quality mode and performance mode with that, it feels like that one's the inherent 4K
Yeah.
one. Because I guess like we can get into with the third party stuff. Like that was the thing that was weird, where like they were showing some third parties and it was still the thing of like, yeah, this kind of still looks like a worse version of the game. Like
I
when they
can't
showed
tell if the trailer was insane, like just shit, or if Elden
For the
Ring,
Elden Ring, I think it was just
like-
the shit trailer.
it looks like it's running on an
When
old
it-
PC.
because like even when you go on the trailer for Elden Ring separately, it still doesn't look great. So it's not like it was a direct thing.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
just
it
think
was.
not
the
way to
game
play Elden
itself.
Ring.
Yeah.
To be fair, like that game already, like no joke, on PS4 and PS4 Pro, like ran like that, you know? Like it was not, it was like 30. I mean, some like it was rated somewhere better than others. Like Yakuza 0 director's cut looks like it's 60. But then
Street
you have
Fighter.
like Street Fighter that's 60. But then like what was the other game? The Daemon X Machina game looked worse. They showed Hogwarts Legacy that looked worse. It's like it's just weird when it was a show where you're promoting like, oh, here's the big graphic stuff. Like you have games showing again, like, all right, this is very clearly
You
the
had
worst
time to
version of
prepare.
this. Yeah. Even like Split Fiction, like that footage looked rough.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I
It
don't know
looked
what's going
so
on with
rough.
third-party developers.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of them in this, to be fair. We had like Elden Ring,
and like
Hades
almost all of
2,
them ran pretty
Street
shitty.
Fighter 6, Split Fiction, like you guys said, Madden,
Street Fighter's the
Hogwarts
big one.
Legacy.
Also,
'Cause-
as an aside, real quick, just and this is for only the 2 or maybe 3 people who care. Did that direct basically also confirm that Hades 2 is 100% coming out this year?
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
at least
it
said
was
more
Silksong.
news this year.
Yeah, they said Hades
Yeah.
2 and Silksong are both this year.
Silksong was crazy.
Like that.
Silksong showing up in the sizzle reel was
Can we talk
crazy to
about
me.
that real quick?
That
Yeah,
is
that
insane.
was very funny.
I was
that
like,
it just
what?
popped up
Funniest
there.
shit ever
I'm
I've
so-
seen, bro.
I'm
So
so
People have been
tired of
waiting
this
for
game,
years
man.
for Silksong in
I'm
anything, in any
so
of these directs, and they're like, oh, we'll throw it in the sizzle reel. It's fine.
Of this game, man.
Insane,
I
man.
thought it was the funniest shit ever. That's what y'all get.
I mean,
was
it
the
was
other
pretty
one we
awesome to
had?
see confirmed that we're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's awesome
Yeah,
to see
you know.
that. And they
What's cool
specifically,
about,
mentioned in that trailer, too, that there's more news to
There's
come.
more, right?
The trilogy
Yeah.
on Switch 2, which leads me to
That's
believe
good.
once again that the third game will also be on.
Of course.
I think what's cool about Street Fighter is it's like it's not like a Switch edition. It's like it's crossplay with everything.
And it
all
has
the
that whole
DLC.
bundle thing. Like it's not you have to buy all the separate DLC
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Yep, it's all in there.
And you
And
can have
there's-
Amiibo.
There's a Switch
Amiibos
mode.
are
Yeah, the
gaming
Amiibos
is
too.
totally- Yeah, and
Yeah,
all
that
the
caught me
Amiibo
totally
cards.
off guard.
Which
Yeah,
is crazy.
there
Yeah,
were
but
a
they also
lot
have
of
Switch-
Amiibo.
They also
I
have
thought
Switch
Amiibos
2
were on their way
specific
out,
mode.
and then Street Fighter said nah.
Well, technically, so did Zelda this time, because in addition to all of those third-party games we just mentioned, there's also a Nintendo IP being developed by a third party, which is Koei Tecmo making the next Hyrule Warriors game, which is Hyrule Warriors Imprisonment.
Why do third parties have more interest in Amiibos than Nintendo?
Well, I think it's because they're easy to
Because
sell.
they
and
want
people
one.
like them. They want merchandise. Yeah, but to be fair, the
Dirty.
amiibos that we're getting for Hyrule Warriors are amiibos of the champion characters that people have wanted amiibos for now. So we're going to get the Sidon amiibo that everyone was asking for. So I think that's cool. And they didn't announce that in the direct, I believe. I think it was something
No, they
afterwards
didn't.
that they did.
I'm upset again because again, like looking at the trailer, it's like the biggest problem with Age of Calamity was that it ran awful, right? And here it's already like the trailer's not like 60 FPS or anything. It's kind of just like it's not chugging, but you can tell. Like I hope there's
That's just Warrior games though.
I mean the latest Warriors was like ran really well. I don't know, but
Which one are you
like,
talking about? The top-down one?
No, it was the new Warriors, the one that came out this year that was really big.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it was more like because with Age of Calamity, that game's biggest problem was how like shit it ran basically. I hope this is not the case here. I'm sure it'll be at least 30 bare minimum.
I'm like
Oh,
way
yeah,
more
most
interested in
definitely.
this one if it actually runs well. Like Age of Calamity,
Yeah,
the
I
way it
agree.
ran made me completely not get that game.
Yeah, no, it's awful. It's almost like you feel sick kind of playing it.
I was honestly really surprised by this announcement, the Hyrule Warriors thing,
Mhm.
even though it kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, I think it would have been smart to make a safe bet that we're going to get something Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Because like with Switch 1, we got Fire Emblem Warriors. With Wii U, we had Hyrule Warriors. So like, again, it makes sense that we would get something Warriors early
It's
on in
crazy
the
we
life
have a
cycle.
trilogy of Zelda Warriors games now.
Yeah, but that's the
They
one
love
weird
that
thing about
IP.
it. We got 3 of the Hyrule Warriors ones, and this one also I think is pretty interesting because they say on the website that the story of the imprisoning war in this one's actually canon to the material.
They
Unlike
said that
what we
last
got,
time. They said that
Well,
last time. I don't
they
trust
said
them.
last time. They said last time. They didn't say it was canon. Last time they specifically said that it would fill in the gaps for what happened, and
I
then you
don't
obviously end
know.
up finding out all the time travel stuff. So I do think it's kind of
Yeah.
cool that they're doing this.
Yeah. Zelda focused.
Yep, and it gives them something new that's Zelda this year, so they have some type of new Zelda experience out this year, as opposed to just having the Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild.
It's also cool, like 2 years in a row now of like a Zelda focused game. Like,
yeah.
So I was just thinking about that. You remember that outfit you get like at the very end of Tears of the Kingdom? It's like a Zonai, is that what they're called? But the Zonai race, but it's Link.
Yeah.
I think that character is probably gonna pop up as like the Link stand-in.
I would like that.
They're gonna have a Link as time travel shit.
Well, one of the other things that got announced right after that third-party section was something that a lot of us have been talking about on this show, which is GameCube is finally coming to NS.
Bro, I can't believe Melee.
It only took you, Roger. It took you It took you an entire console's life to get that prediction right.
That does not count, bro.
It took an entire.
He's smiling like he's like.
It ain't even on the console you was talking about.
All I know is that they've been working on it for a while, and I'm happy that we saw it finally, and it makes sense that they held it off for Switch 2. That's all I'm saying. We got the confirmation. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Ricky. We got the confirmation that the first 3 launch games, which will be their launch day for Switch 2, are The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which explains why we're not getting Wind Waker HD. Soul Calibur 2, which is
That one is so sick.
Fire. Absolutely awesome pick. Having that actually be online.
We should do a tournament in here.
Yes.
Japan tournament. I would love that. Yeah, so we got Soul Calibur 2, and then the third one, making a lot of people happy, F-Zero GX is also going to be on there. They said that all of the games are going to run better and look better on the NSO, and then they also announced that all of the games have programmable buttons, so you can program all of your different control schemes.
I mean,
they also
online GameCube is like such a dream. Like that is the most like parsec thing. Like that's the multiplayer console. I feel like with Nintendo's classics,
I wish there were some games on there that I cared more about being on there because
I think
I was
disappointed.
there are obviously a bunch that are still coming. Like I think Star Fox Assault, Melee, they're coming.
You're never
They
getting
need to
Melee.
stop doing
Melee
the
is not
stupid bullshit
Melee's
of
never
releasing a console and then 2 games. How about you just give us a nice amount to have fun with? Why? We don't need to fucking drip feed everything.
Well, on release they're gonna get a bunch, but after that they'll definitely drip feed like they
we're only getting those 3 on release, and then after that, they're slowly
so they
releasing Pokemon Coliseum, fucking
so
Fire.
the games.
I think those will come out.
Sunshine,
Those will come
Fire
out
Emblem
more
Path of
frequently after the initial 3 comes out, in comparison to how slow they drip feed all the other games that are on the Switch 1.
I mean, they usually, whenever they do those little previews of the new systems, usually within the first couple months of the system coming out, those preview games are out. It's usually the ones afterwards that they start to drip feed. But like, I imagine that all of these that they showed will probably be out by the end of the year. And so again, confirmation of the games that'll be on it. In addition to Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, we have Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon Coliseum, and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Striker, GameCube version, Chibi Robo, and what was the other one? There was one more. Chibi Robo was a shock. Oh, Luigi's Mansion, the original Luigi's Mansion there as well. Yeah, very cool.
I'm confused on what Nintendo's plan is here, because
what do you mean?
They showed Mario Kart World, F-Zero GX on NSO, Kirby Air Riders, like. Do they have like a big? Well, I guess
we're doing
Mario
the
Kart
race,
World
bro.
would have been. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do they have a game plan to get everyone back into racing games? But I guess that would be Mario Kart World. But
I think it's just
I mean, this year in particular, though, if you look at the lineup now, you've got obviously Mario Kart, you've got the new Sonic one, you've got F-Zero that's going to be here on the NSO, and you've got Kirby.
They teased like a Ridge Racer port as well in the sizzle reel.
Right.
We be
This is a real also confirmed.
Speaking of real fast, quick tangent.
Go ahead.
But now that we know when Mario Kart is coming out, they can finally announce when Crossroads is coming out and put it far as fuck away from it.
Yeah, put that thing in December to October. I was before we move off GameCube, just to be clear, GameCube NSO is exclusive to Switch 2, right?
Yes. So it is only on expansion pass for Switch 2 owners. Yeah,
but
so
see,
if you're a Switch 2 owner, you're gonna get it.
That makes me think the good thing about it is then the drip feed will be faster because if it's the only console, because like on base Switch, what they do is like 1 month N64 gets something, 1 month GBA gets something, 1 month SNES, but like for Switch 2, they'd have to just every month put something for GameCube.
Yeah.
Well, you'll still have the other consoles on Switch 2.
Yeah, that's true. But you'll want like the Switch 2 people.
The thing I'm most shocked about with this is the fact that we're getting XD in Coliseum. I really thought there was no chance we were going to get either of those. That is amazing. That not only we're getting them, but they're like in the first group.
I know why we're getting them.
About Path of Radiance.
Yeah, I know why we're getting all those games. Nintendo said, "Oh, too many people are complaining that they have to spend $300 plus on those specific games."
Yep.
So they said we're just going to throw them on there.
I think Soul Calibur is fucking blows my fucking. That is the original gameplay release of Soul Calibur 2 is the only it is not only the best version of one of the best fighting games, top 10 bar none fighting games ever made. It is the only version of that game that is locked to the console it was initial release.
Yeah.
Every other version of Soul Calibur 2, the one with Spawn and the one with Heihachi, came out later and were ported later. So the only way you could have ever played Link on Soul Calibur 2 was if you had a GameCube and you had a GameCube disc.
Now, if you had a Switch 2, you'll be able to do it too. Switch 2 with the
Four Swords online would be fire if they figure that out.
Four Swords is screaming to be an NSO game.
Yeah. We have some motivation. I think boys, we know what our next top 10 is. Boys, yes sir.
We have the rest of them first.
For that.
I want to see them put Melee on NSO just because I want to watch.
You want to watch? Yeah.
I want to watch.
I agree.
There is so many fucking ways that they will just get burned at the stake for putting that game out, because every other like NSO release that they've ever done, they always use the most like up-to-date patched version of the game. If they do that with Melee, that's the PAL version. Boom, they get like thrown into the fucking fire for that. If they try to do online, it's not going to be rollback. They're going to get thrown into the fire for that. They advertise
Counterpoint.
They advertise that NSO GameCube has reprogrammable buttons. If you give Melee reprogrammable buttons, boom, you're getting thrown into the fire again.
Counterpoint. This is such a small percentage of people that play Smash Bros. And almost every single one of them is an undesirable motherfucker. I don't think Nintendo cares.
Undesirable.
Perhaps,
but it's a compelling point.
In that scenario,
I think they won't
no
touch that game
releasing
just
it.
to avoid trouble in general. Right?
I agree.
Why?
Is 64 even on 64
It's their
NSO?
game.
No,
I
it's
don't care.
not yet.
Oh, of course, it's
They
their
released
game.
the PAL version, and some fucking 35-year-old that plays video games and has no other prospects is gonna fucking.
It wouldn't even be close to the best way to play Melee at this moment in time anyway. Who gives a fuck? Nobody's gonna be
For the like
playing
95% of people that 95% of people playing it would want to play it there. No, besides the competitive people.
Smash tournament goers.
Bro,
oh yeah, I guess.
Ultimate anyway.
It's such a there's such a small percentage of like the Smash community and Nintendo community in general. Like they're a non-factor other than bad optics when it comes to when they want to be esports.
That ain't got nothing to do with them,
but if they take that angle, there's no point releasing it on NSO anyway. So if they do release it on NSO, it's gonna be to cater to those people, and I want to watch.
Why wouldn't it be to cater to the people that grew up with a GameCube?
I mean, yeah, I'm of that opinion.
Dudes.
Because I would argue that most casual Smash players, Melee is not even in their top 2 favorite Smash games.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Melee is nostalgia. Like Melee, I think, is the nostalgia one. Like that's the one.
Most people who play Smash, when they think Smash, they think like look at the sales.
I'm just talking about the average person, not
the average. No, I'm saying the average person doesn't like Melee is not even top 2. It's probably either Wii U or Brawl.
Yeah, but if you offer them a chance to play a game from their childhood, they're gonna play
U. You mean Ultimate?
Yeah, no, dude.
No, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I was like,
I just think
if I could chime in,
Melee on Brawl. Yeah.
Because this happened like this is back when Brawl was the thing, right? So in college, playing with Smash with people, we played Brawl. They had a night at like the film center where they would put Brawl and Melee on projectors. You could play, and people would come by. People who I could beat Melee. I'm not good at Melee. Just instantly thought, oh, why would I play Brawl? Melee's better. Like there was like straight up like. There's a Smash competitive players who feel that, but there's a level of people that just feel that. Like that was just the feel among all peoples that, oh, but Melee's the special one. Like even now, like there's people in other scenes who like think about Smash, and when they think about Smash, they think about Melee. They don't think about the current Smash game.
To me, it's similar to like the early Pokemon games. Like mad people played Red and Blue and made Gold, and they skipped fucking 7 generations, but they still know Red and Blue.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it.
I feel like Gens 3 or 4 tend to be the cutoff for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
beyond that, there's just
We were
nothing.
kids when Melee came out.
Which is crazy because I
girls
feel
were
like
adults
4
who
and
didn't
5
play.
are like where you get the best stuff is 4 and 5.
Yep.
It's definitely not. 3.
But okay, well, yeah, it's not 3. Moving on from GameCube, we got the confirmation that Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 will be there launch day,
sir!
which is going to be really cool.
I hate
Launch
this
day.
chapter shit, man.
Why?
I just hate games not releasing when they're finished.
I mean, I guess in this case, like they are like a full game essentially.
Yeah,
like
those
the-
are full game releases.
I feel like now. I feel like, I think with the way they do Delta, it's basically a full game. It's just that it ends like on it to be continued.
People
But-
If it
didn't
says
want-
to be continued, it's not fucking.
Nah, it's not
People,
true.
people
Many
didn't
games that
want
are-
to wait a decade for Deltarune to come out.
Yeah, but didn't they just do that with the Telltale games where they would put out them episodically?
No, but Telltale's so different. Like I feel like those episodes like would come out every few months. They were way smaller. Whereas like he basically makes like a full game with these chapters. I get the idea that like if it ends on a cliffhanger, it's not like a full thing. But I feel like they're full enough essentially for like how those games play.
I think this was you get one of two things. You get Deltarune, where it comes out in like chapters, and you kind of get to enjoy the game, in chunks as it's ready, or you get Silksong.
Right. I'll take
You
this.
just never
I'll take
get it.
this.
I'll take
Bro,
the,
you're
the
gonna-
finished product every time.
No, I'll take Deltarune, bro.
I don't
The
fucking know, 'cause
Silksong
this is how
did
you
suck.
get fucking early access shit on Steam.
But no
That's
one
not what
like
this is, though.
no, but that's not
it's similar. It's very
No,
similar.
not at
no,
all.
it-
Not
No,
at all.
yeah,
dude.
it is.
Like
It
for
is.
me,
No,
I don't consider it
Deltarune's
like
not
that
like
because
that.
Deltarune, you're playing the game and then the save file carries over. Like a lot of early access stuff, your save file doesn't carry over to the actual final game because they make adjustments.
There's
or
no
whatever.
early
But
access on Deltarune
no.
either.
Deltarune, they
Actually,
just
they're
released
pretty
it
much
for
all.
everybody, and then you play it. No, but I mean, like, which other ones are you thinking of? Because, like, I know with Hades, it's not going to carry over for Hades 2. That's a big reason I didn't play the early access for that.
Pretty much every early access game that I've played doesn't.
But
like by the time it's at like 0.9, it's not
I'm-
gonna fucking reinvent itself.
No, but I'm with you. I don't early access. I'm not a fan of, but Deltarune, it's not an early access thing. Like Chapter 1 was a game they released, and like Chapter 2 was like a game they released. They just name them
Like, you might as
chapters,
well
but
just
like
call them Deltarune 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
one
Yeah, no,
Deltarune.
he should.
Yeah, right.
He
They're
should,
called
but it's like
chapters
They're like
because it's
numbered
all one
entries.
game.
Exactly.
No
Yeah.
matter how
Yeah.
you spin this, I'm gonna still think it's fucking stupid. So just move on.
That's
that's
fair.
not.
Well, one thing that is stupid is I'm not playing Borderlands 4 on a Switch 2. They got
Hell
Borderlands
no.
4 and
Brandon
Civilization.
What the?
My PC will always be first, no matter what console any other game is on, bro.
They're putting
Yeah.
Fable in everything.
Borderlands 4, Civilization 7. We got Survival
Wait,
Kids,
wait.
which is when the entire podcast just completely shut down and everybody's
Oh,
streams
yeah, dude,
crashed
that
and we
was
all had to
awful.
switch over.
I am
Horrible.
hopeful that finally they don't have to tell me that the Switch version of a game is coming out fucking 8 months after it dropped, bro. That shit was so whack.
Oh, that's gonna be
Yeah,
nice.
thankfully
The
it
fucking
seems like
dumbed
they're
down,
actually releasing
chewed
it
up,
at the
and
same
spat
time,
out
which is
version
good.
dropping on the Switch finally 9 months after the game dropped everywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we got.
I'm not surprised that they showed Borderlands 4. It's kind of cool that it's coming to Switch. What I'm shocked by is that they put Randy Pitchford up to talk about it.
They love Randy Pitchford, man. They love
yeah,
having
true.
him.
It still gets like public appearances.
He should be like.
He's even at
cast
Game
out to
Awards
sea.
this year.
That's
I agree with
crazy
you.
to me. There's just so much controversy with him.
Yeah, he should be put on an ice block
They-
and pushed.
They still totally put him on everything, though. I mean, what was the other thing we just watched recently where he was talking?
He
Game
was
Awards.
like
Game
the
Awards.
state of play. The state of play.
Oh yeah, the state of
State of
play.
Play.
Exactly. It was a state of play, right? So then we also got the confirmation Cyberpunk 2077, the
Dude.
Ultimate Edition. is coming.
When I was watching the direct and they showed Civ, and I'm like, okay, they're bringing the heavy hitters. I think Hitman showed as well.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, they're bringing some heavy hitters. They're gonna show Cyberpunk next, and it was literally Cyberpunk.
Really Cyberpunk. There you go.
I think people need to like the thing about Cyberpunk is very funny is that like everyone who's going to ever play the game has already played the game and knows it's good. So like selling it, it's like a Skyrim thing. I feel like who's like
who's gonna be getting this?
Well, I mean,
Like,
it could be for some people that like maybe there's someone out there that literally just gets a Switch, doesn't have a PC, you know, and now it's like, oh, I can play this. And thank goodness it's not like their Witcher 3 port, which looks like such ass when they showed that thing.
No, this actually doesn't look too bad.
No,
Yeah.
the Cyberpunk looks good. I'm just saying compared to what they did
Cyberpunk,
before.
And also, I know, Coach, you just mentioned the Hitman shit. They also announced they're working on a 007 game, which is a cop.
Correct.
That is a cop.
Also,
The crazy thing though is that 007 game got announced 2 years ago. I remember when that got announced at like
The
some other
Cyberpunk
event.
Isn't it the only game that's not like it's like one of the only the major third parties that mentioned it that's not doing that stupid game card bullshit, which makes no sense. There's no
where you have like the digital game key or whatever. When
there's
you
no
get
reason why Street Fighter is selling you a license to play their game when Cyberpunk is giving you pretty. That's why this whole physical game conversation is stupid. You don't own the game anymore. When you buy the game, you just have the license.
Yeah, I agree. Doesn't matter.
Just because you have the cartridge doesn't mean you own the game. They could take it away from you at any time. It's stupid.
They
did it to me with Minecraft.
The Yakuza announcement was cool. They're making like a director's cut. They're adding like an online mode, new cutscenes, a dub for the first time. It's a Switch exclusive. It's not like one of those things they announced here and it's gonna be somewhere else. So
no, it's just
that's
out
pretty
here.
cool.
Yep.
And even
then, of course,
also, I think outside the direct, I think Sega on their Twitter did like a few soft confirms. They said Sonic Shadow Gens is going to be on Switch. I mean, it is on Switch, but I assume they mean enhanced.
Like
2
Switch 2
Museum
edition.
enhanced.
Sure.
Yeah. Raido remastered, Puyo Tetris 2, which was in here. So,
and then of course we had Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Hamaguchi came out, talked about it, and then also said that he will continue talking about the future of that series, the trilogy, on Switch 2, implying, of course, what we all thought, which is that Rebirth is probably coming next year, and then the year after we're going to get Part 3. So there you go. Once again, continuing. I did get scared, though. When we saw Square Enix in the beginning of it, and we saw Bravely Default, I thought, oh my God, please don't let this be the Square Enix port. Like, please don't let it just be Bravely Default.
There was one other game kind of sandwich in what was basically a lot of really big names before they did like the indie sizzle reel that fucking kicked off a Silk Song, which was still insane.
That was crazy, yeah.
But Enter the Gungeon 2, I'm actually extremely excited for.
That's crazy. They just drop Into the Gungeon 2. Like what?
In 3D.
The stream fucking froze right at that moment.
Yeah,
I was gonna say right when they had their announcement, it froze. Yeah,
I was
lucky
I know they're shit I don't give a fuck about.
Bro, during one of the most influential roguelikes ever made,
they gotta
is
get
getting
their
a
money
sequel.
back,
Like,
What's really insane though is that the VOD on YouTube is fine. So I feel like this was actually a problem on YouTube's end.
Huh?
Yeah, no, that's on Twitch. It was on Twitch.
It was on Twitch too.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching on
Something
Twitch
with
when
the
I went.
American streams only.
Yeah, so something wrong with the
right because
encoder
everyone
then.
was switching over.
Yeah,
because like the data still got there eventually. Like something just fucked up with the encoder, the transmission. Because like the VOD that ended up on YouTube is completely fine. It doesn't have that problem. And also like the audio sync was off the entire direct.
The audio was
before
that part.
Yeah, that stream was ass.
It was messed up the entire direct on the like the US version. But the VOD is
how
fine.
you fumble that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Computers suck, man. As someone who has worked in like live broadcast for like 7 years plus, like weird shit like this just happens.
And then they also showed once again that Marvel game. What was that? The Marvel game from the Switch?
Cosmic Invasion, yes sir. I'm playing that day one, man. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it on the Switch, but
Coach, run it up.
Sprite slop. What?
Coach, over, run it up. It's 4 players.
I said it because I wanted to make you mad specifically.
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
Insane.
And then they actually during this they showed a lot of stuff that they already showed during the Switch 1 Direct, and that's as well. They showed that Shadow Labyrinth Pac-Man game. They showed Raido Remastered coming to Switch 2 as well.
Yeah,
on
that was literally just a recap of last week
of all the Switch 1 Direct stuff. Yeah, Fortnite of course is going to be there day one.
The sprite work in the game I called Sprite Slop as just a joke. I've been saying they need to be put on a fighting game and.
Yeah, the modders are gonna go crazy with those sprites, man.
Yeah.
And
like
then,
the
of course,
Wolverine is crazy, and like he does literally MVC3 stuff.
He does Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Yep. We also got the little tiny teaser for Professor Layton as well. They did not forget about Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. That is still coming and apparently is dated 2025. Tamagotchi,
Yeah, but that
as
company,
they called
dude,
it.
we gotta talk about that.
Level 5?
Are we really excited for level 5 games at this? Like, it's
Especially when they're using AI.
generative AI video slop.
Well, Layton isn't though. I think like that other yokai one was, but Layton, I think.
Oh, I
is
thought it
still-
was. I thought that was the Layton one.
No. That's the
Oh.
Yokai Watch one. But the big thing, this is where the heavy hitters really started to come out. These next 3 announcements were like shocking and great. They wrapped up the third-party reveals for the Switch 2 by revealing that a new Bloodborne successor, essentially a spiritual successor of Bloodborne, is going to be coming to the Switch 2 exclusively in 2026. Is directed by Miyazaki and is called the Blood Dusks. Is that what it's
It's
called?
crazy.
Dust
They did
Blood?
everything but call
Dust
it
Blood.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, I mean they literally talk about blood constantly in it. You see like the messed up version of London. You're seeing all these other creepy like vampire creatures. It looks awesome. I just never in a million years thought this was going to be in this direct.
Exclusive.
Yeah, Switch exclusive from something.
Yeah.
This kind of crazy.
Truly insane. Yeah.
Let's get
much do you
Elden
think
Ring
they
running
paid
well
for it?
first before though. Let's
I think Elden Ring's going to run fine when it comes out.
let's get that running well and then
Yeah, I don't think that'll have an issue. And again, that one's like not built from the ground up for the Switch, whereas this one is specifically built for Switch 2. I love that shot where like he's jumping off of the turret in like the castle, and then he does the whole vampire thing where he's eating up the souls. I thought looked really cool.
Dude, I
And the
legit
monster
thought it was a
fight was creepy.
Castlevania game at first.
For a little bit, I also thought it could be Castlevania, the way they were building it up.
because it was
Then,
like Dracula in the chair.
I
yeah,
saw the clock tower, and then I was like, maybe. And then they kept showing the clock tower, and I'm like, there's a game called Clock Tower, but I don't think it's this.
no, I mean this looks cool. Apparently, the game is focused on multiplayer. Is the thing that got revealed afterwards? Is that it's like a multiplayer focused experience, kind of similar to Night Rain?
PvE.
PvPvE, you said?
Correct. So
There
there
you
will
go.
you will have PvP, you will have multiplayer like traditional Bloodborne shit or Dark Souls stuff like from software stuff, but you will also have neutral enemies and objectives on the map as well.
It's
Yeah, so
looking
when I heard that PvPvE, that sounds just like what they normally do. I'm like, unless they're literally saying, yeah, it's gonna be more multiplayer focused, because their normal games are like that too. Because people can invade you, but you also
Well, that's
can
right.
just
Yeah,
fight
I guess you got the
regular
invasion in
NPCs.
Elden Ring. Sure.
I think it's more so that it's probably going to be more similar to Night Rain.
Yes, that's what I think
A little
too.
bit more. I agree. Well, then we got the last 2 big announcements, both first-party games coming out this year. The first one is the confirmation of Masahiro Sakurai's next game,
What'd I
which
say?
is
What'd I say?
indeed a Kirby game.
What I
We
say?
all
He's not
we all
coming
admit
back.
at the start, like why he definitely did the vertical horizontal sweep with the warp star, like with
Yeah,
the, like the
100%.
smash ball.
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was really funny.
Yeah.
And
Give me my
and the
flowers,
dark
Rogers Base.
and the dark room.
Yeah, everything
Yeah,
about
just
that.
like
is
Smash
like
Brothers
how he
zooming
did his
in,
Smash Bros.
And
fillers,
the sound
They
effect.
definitely tried to mix y'all. That was funny as shit.
I love that though. As
That's
someone
why-
who's been
yeah.
begging for Air Ride for years to get a
So-
follow-up, I think that's great that we're finally getting one.
Here's the thing that stood out to me. When does anyone know offhand when because Sakurai said it on his YouTube channel, like when he locked in the proposal for this game? We're assuming this
Yeah.
is what it was.
This
Does
is for
anyone-
sure what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like 20 because he revealed that he did all those videos ahead of time. So that was like
Yeah.
2022, right?
Right, and this game comes out this year, so that would make
This
a lot
is
of
me
sense. When he
putting,
said smaller project and comes
So-
out this year.
So this is what was weird to me about that reveal is
Yeah.
as far as we know, he has been working on this game since 2022.
Mhm.
We got this cool cinematic trailer. We got 0 gameplay, and that logo is definitely not final. No Kirby
No.
game has a logo like that.
No.
So why did we get so little?
Well, also look at
That
look
can
at
show
Smash,
stuff's
look
coming
at
to
the
Switch
Smash
too.
Ultimate trailer. It's the same thing, and that game was definitely pretty far along at that.
Oh
point.
yeah, because that was by the time that E3 we ended up getting like the big
Oh, I think
reveal
that's
of
just what
everyone's
Sakurai
here.
likes doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
probably just the style of marketing he likes.
You just think it's his formula?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Don't-
visually,
don't
I
forget-
loved the art style.
It
Was
looks
gorgeous.
great.
I mean, yeah, looks really good. So if the game looks anything like that, I will say hard read.
I like the
this-
redesigned air machines.
Oh yeah, yeah, they look really cool. I was gonna say one of the things, obviously, in the original Kirby Air Ride, if you played that game, is you hold down the A button and you sort of like drag to boost. I feel like that is going to totally be a mouse control thing. That there's gonna be some type of mode that Sakurai puts in where like you hold down the mouse
No,
and you
for
drag
Top
it to
Ride.
charge up and then you go. For Top Ride, for sure, they're
that's
gonna
a very
do
good
that.
shout.
Yeah. But I feel like considering the fact he always utilizes the hardware, whatever the gimmick is within the hardware, and the whole thing with Air Ride is that, the one button thing where you're holding down, dragging, and then you end up shooting. I feel like that's probably going to end up being.
But I think he
I wonder,
knows,
like,
playing a role
and
in
we
this.
all know that City Trial is what we're here for. So
Of
I'm
course.
wondering how big he's gonna make City Trial.
I think it's going to be
He's
amazing.
gonna
Maybe
make it
that's why
huge,
we
yeah.
didn't just get a little small trailer, because he wants to like show us.
Am I
I did like
alone?
the-
I mean, we know
in-
Sakurai. He wants to do a whole presents for it.
Yeah.
I think it gets its
There'll
own
be
direct.
there'll be an achievement wall
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Am I alone in not being the biggest fan of Kirby Air Ride?
It's very much like it has nothing to itself if you didn't play it with people.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
It is like
I mostly
City
played
Trial is
alone,
what made
but I
that
still,
game.
Yeah, but I played City Trial just a shit ton. I still loved unlocking everything.
I
Finding
think-
stuff, finding the drag dude
checkbox
and
thing
shit
is
like
pretty
that.
fun.
Yeah.
One thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm just putting this bad energy out there for fun.
Sure.
Sakurai will not include any Kirby characters from games he didn't work on.
Oh yeah, we talked about that before the podcast started. So like none of Leo, Rex, or whatever from Forgotten
no
Land.
Magalore, no
Yeah, none of them.
Suzy, nothing.
Yeah, it's probably
I think
just
you're
going to
gonna
be like the Kirby characters,
You're gonna get Meta Knight and DDD, and you're gonna fucking live with it.
And
You're gonna
Waddle Dee.
also-
You'll get
No, I
Waddle
think
Dee.
you're also get a lot. I think you're gonna get a lot of the cast from the Forgotten Land too as well.
You'll get Marks and Adeline,
Yeah,
maybe those two.
yeah.
I can see the two of them being thrown in there.
No,
I wonder,
Sakurai
like-
made Marks, didn't he?
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Marks
Marks
is
will be
allowed.
in there.
Marks is
Do you
allowed.
guys think like
Yeah.
Sakurai is like this game has been his commitment, or you think he's been doing like
This
No.
is his
Multiple
definitely
He
his like.
Okay.
I feel like if he
passion
makes
project, for
something,
sure.
he puts his soul into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
yeah.
I have a question because I'm not looking forward to that game as much as a lot of people are. Do you guys think it's a remake or
No.
is it
No,
a
it's
new?
brand new.
So,
it's a
sequel.
new
so
game?
if it's brand
it's a
new,
new take
what
on it,
what
yeah.
are they adding more to it? To
First
differentiate
off,
it from the
I think
game
City
from the-
Trial, I really truly think City Trial is going to be like a battle royale mode. I think
Yeah.
to me, like the whole thing where you're dropping
Yeah.
it from the sky on a warp star,
Or there might be
collecting
multiple
its
City
items.
Trial modes.
Yeah, but I feel like one of the City
a
Trial modes is
survival,
totally going to be like a survival battle royale Fortnite style Kirby thing, where
I
you
think it
get
could
your
be
air
fun if
machines
there's,
stuff up.
you know how there's like the random events.
Oh yeah,
I think,
there you go.
Yeah.
I think if like when you get into a City Trial match with everyone, like a battle royale match, the objective is determined there then and there. So if it's like person with the highest amount of KOs wins, or person that survives the longest. So like one death is permadeath, stuff like that.
That'd be super cool. I'm here for it.
Battle
I can't wait
Royale
to-
City Trial would be sick.
Yeah, I mean that's a lock. I feel like there's no doubt in my mind we're getting that. Considering
I mean-
again, like this is a passion project clearly for Sakurai. He said the treatment didn't take him very long at all. He had to put together the new team for it. I do feel like this is something he's wanted to make for a while, and I think he's obviously just been busy with Smash Brothers for 10 years, and he hasn't had a chance to do it, which is why we haven't seen anything with it. And like you said, back when we first started talking about what if Sakurai's next game isn't Smash Brothers, I think the big thing that kept coming up is he wants to give Kirby one more go.
Yep.
Before he, hangs it up and maybe works on a different franchise or something. He wanted to do something else with Kirby, and
He's gonna take on the Miyamoto role and start talking about apps and parks and movies.
Yeah,
The Smash Brothers movie.
I'm on board. Let's do it.
I'm here for that too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll be in the seats. Yes.
Smash movie. I'll be there day one. And something else I will also be in the seats for day one is the new 3D Donkey Kong open world platformer that got announced. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which by the way, great name for that game. Bonanza. And looks like it's developed by the Odyssey team. It is a 3D Donkey Kong platformer. looks incredible, and it's coming out
Is
in
it
July.
fully destructible terrain? Like everything looks like.
I don't know if it's
broken.
fully, but it looks like a majority of it is.
Which
You
think
need
about
to
it, it's,
look
it's
at it
kind of funny
again.
that more games don't do that. Like, okay, I know Fortnite has it basically, yeah, but I'm talking about
Well, it's
like,
hard.
yeah, I know it's hard, but it's like there was like Red
It's,
Faction
it's
Gorilla.
beyond hard.
Yeah, because like Red Faction Gorilla was like the game I remember that did this a lot, besides like Dice and
We
Evolution
just
and
can destroy
Battlefield.
everything.
Yeah, where you just destroy everything. That's a core part
Yeah.
of the game.
Even,
but like so many games just since then just don't do it.
The E3 trailer for Pokemon Battle Revolution had destructible
right.
terrain.
That's right.
But
With
they got
Groudon
rid of
shooting
it.
the hyper beam through the back. Yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean, this looks incredible though, with like him ripping up the rocks and.
It literally looks like it's 100% in Odyssey's engine.
Yeah.
It literally
Yeah,
looks
it
like
looks
Odyssey.
so good.
Yeah.
Bro, at first we were like, I've seen so many reactions so far today when that first shot like
I thought it
rolls
was
in.
3D Mario.
Everyone's like, "All right, guys, it's Mario. Let's everyone
Really?
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of people
no.
were like that."
I
and then,
thought it was Mario
and
right
then,
away.
Mike,
bro,
the only two people I saw who did this, both Mike and I at the exact same time went, "Holy shit, it's Banjo!" Because that
Yes.
first
Yes.
I did that too because
That's
there
what
was
my
a,
friends
there
did.
was an
Okay, yeah,
My
enemy.
friends did.
There was
Yeah, I
an
did that too.
enemy that
With
was like a
eyeballs.
blue. Yeah, there's like a blue
Yeah,
iceberg
I said
thing.
straight
I'm like,
up, none of
bro,
these look like
that's
Mario enemies.
yeah, that
No.
looks like a rare type enemy, bro.
Yes.
exactly.
When I saw those like gorillas mining, I was like, oh wait, this isn't
So
Mario.
what's the deal with his pants? He doesn't have them in the box art.
Little overalls.
Yeah,
I
he's got,
think it's part of
mining-
like a worker outfit. Yeah, like
He
he has
doesn't
like
have
a
them.
miner
In,
outfit.
so can you dress him up?
Oh, maybe it's like maybe it's like Odyssey where there's like kind of different environments.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
that's-
Okay.
Yeah,
It seems like when he's wearing the pants is when he has like the buddy, the little crystal buddy.
Oh, the little purple
on
dude.
his shoulder.
Yeah.
Maybe the crystal buddy gives him intelligence.
Well,
Maybe.
I think it might be an Odyssey thing where like it's a mining world, and I think what we've seen is like a slice of the game. I think there's going to be like different environments, kind of a la Odyssey, where like he's going to have something different. So like you're going to get these like mining levels where like the environment is destructible or whatever, but then you're going to have kind of like different worlds or different environments where he's going to have like a different outfit and some other power.
I think his main thing though is going to be smashing stuff.
Yeah.
I
Do you
hope
guys-
and pray this is at the fan experience thing. I want to play
Do you
this.
think this is do you think this is their 3D basically Mario for the year? Like you think 3D
Yes.
Mario is pushed to next
Yeah,
year?
I do.
When I
Yeah.
saw this, I literally thought to myself, "Oh, we're not getting 3D Mario
Yeah.
for a while."
It's crazy. I was shocked because I'm like, damn, bro, it's been 8 years. Next year, 9. Like,
But you know,
I'd
one of
assume
the
next
things
year
they
it's
kept
happening.
highlighting with like the game chat thing that they did in this direct, or like one of the things that's getting updates, like the free update games, they kept mentioning Mario Odyssey. And I almost kind of feel like because they're going to be adding and implementing these new features of Switch 2 and you could like play Odyssey with them, I almost am wondering if like that's enough in their mind to like tide people over. And they're like, well, you're going to get this. Because people have been begging for a new Donkey Kong game, and not just a new Donkey Kong game, but a new 3D Donkey Kong game has been.
Last one was
fine with this. I mean,
DK64, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
to be fair, like a 3D DK game this caliber is basically a 3D Mario game, like for the year. Like it's basically that team.
Well, we've also saw it has very faithful looking 2D segments.
Yep.
The 2D segment looks awesome.
Literally
too.
looks like Jungle Japes.
Country. Yeah.
I also think that I would not be surprised if Mario Odyssey gets its Switch 2 version with more content.
Yeah, I totally think we can.
Well,
get that
it's already in the list of
The
regular
darkest side.
enhanced games.
Oh, and I think you can dress DK up because in a later cutscene he has a hat, but then he doesn't have it again later.
Oh. And also, I was gonna say, I wonder. I hope it's still like really heavy focus on platforming because I wonder like when you bring in destructible environments, I feel like you can kind of break the game. So I wonder to what level you can like, because it looks like there's other like solid ground that you can break versus like
Well, you have to
actual
climb
ground
and
you
stuff, so
can
I
break.
imagine there's gonna be swinging, wall jumping,
Yeah,
monkey
yeah,
stuff.
not a single swing, which is funny.
Yeah. Maybe he'll
Yeah, it
bring
looks
back
amazing.
that move from DK64 where he can kind of fly a little bit.
Yep. I mean, this is like effectively a launch game. Like it's a month after Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's literally it's
crazy.
like 4 weeks after. It's
If
very.
you consider Melee a launch title for the GameCube, then this is
Yeah.
the launch title.
Yeah.
Launch day does seem. Honestly, this launch window just does seem very, very strong. Like, I think after those last few announcements, for a little while there, like midway through the direct, I was thinking like, oh, they're spending a little too much time. Like,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
am wondering what's happening here. Like, this is kind of scaring me a bit. And then obviously with FromSoft and Kirby and Donkey Kong, they like came out swinging at the ending, and I think really saved it. But yeah, there was a little chunk there where I was like, man, shit, is this whole year just going to be like Switch 2 editions and then like Mario Kart?
I was
But
saying like
thankfully
two things. One, there's going to be more direct, and two, I was thinking about this. Like Nintendo with this is in such a different position than they were like with Switch One. Like with Switch One, they had to prove like you need to buy this, and even if we're showing you games early or like our huge hitters all at once, like you need to buy this thing. Whereas with Switch Two, it's like everybody adores the Switch, is hungry for Switch 2, and they know they're going to get the games. And so just having like a few games year one, people are already sold and like, I love the Switch. It's a proven thing. I'm just going to go and buy it.
I think I'm rewatching some of like the Donkey Kong game stuff, and I think it's going to be like largely destructible environment and not fully, and that seems obvious.
Yeah.
But I think most of the levels are going to be like the snow one. It's most obvious in the snow one where there's kind of like there's a layer.
Yeah, like
yeah.
And like in the snow level, it's very obvious, like it's the snow that you're knocking away. But I think every level is going to kind of be like that, where like there's going to be like the top layer of environment is going to be destructible, so that you can kind of like punch holes in the ground. But you're only going to be able to go down like 5 feet or whatever, and then you're going to hit like real environment.
Yeah, it looks like gorgeous, man. It really does. Yeah, I love the redesign. I really do. I think.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how expressive he is.
This is a full redesign. I mean, obviously, it still kind of looks like DK, but there's a lot of ways you could say this is just
it's just his
completely
very
new
original design came back.
My friends and I have had a long talk about it because he's obviously a lot more expressive, but we were all just kind of staring at it and we're just like, why though? Because it's really not like obvious what has actually changed if you just like really stare at him, but you can tell that it's different.
It's you can see with Mario Kart, right?
And I
all
think
of them look
I think
that
the
way?
biggest thing is the eyebrows. I think normally DK is locked to like angry eyebrows. And I think he's not anymore, and his eyes look a little like more beady. I definitely love how much more expressive it is, but I'm still not.
His
like,
eyes.
I'm still adjusting.
A lot of it as well. His eyes are smaller and closer together. Like if you look at older DK art, his eyes are like more ovular and larger, but this DK's eyes are almost like joined together.
Was that
like Sonic?
Is that the game DK or is that movie DK? Because they look similar, obviously.
movie DK.
That's movie DK.
That's movie DK.
They're inspired by the same DK, but like, look.
Yeah, they took.
He's like a mix of both. He's a mix of both for sure.
Movie DK is like this is like the original Nintendo DK design because like the one we're all used to is Rare's.
Yeah,
sure.
But like this is
they had to change it pretty much.
This is like Nintendo's. I forget the guy's name. It's like Kobe or something. This is like the original Nintendo DK design, and the movie one was very inspired by it. And now this version is like much closer to what it was originally. And it's definitely way more expressive.
Yeah.
But one of my friends was terrified of what the fuck is Diddy gonna look like.
He's gonna look like Diddy.
Yeah,
You
they
think
purposely
they
didn't
won't
show any
change
other
him?
Kongs.
He's not gonna change. He doesn't need to change.
Well, they showed a lot of new Kongs. Like they showed a bunch of new Kongs at the ending, but what is that?
Diddy needs to change.
That's one of the poses you can do in the open
Dabbing
world
DK?
of Mario Kart. Yeah, dabbing DK.
Because he looks fine if you put him beside that. Hold on.
As an aside, I saw a bunch of people like examining the footage and listening to like some of like the grunts he does, and people are like, "Is that Travis Willingham?"
Doing DK?
Yes.
Why do you say DK like that?
DK?
Yeah, why'd you emphasize the K?
We know why.
I always do DK.
Whoa.
Well, I'm genuinely confused. I don't understand.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, that was pretty much the direct because they didn't reveal the price in this thing. We had to find out the price afterwards. on the
Yeah,
website.
Dog shit.
Where we found out they basically ended the direct and said, okay, and for more information, you can go to the NintendoSwitch.com website. And we found out that the price, USD price, in North America is $450 for the base model and $500 with the deluxe model, which comes with Mario Kart bundled in.
Is that price fair?
I think so.
Don't mind it
I think,
personally.
I think it's
No,
fine.
I thought it was. I thought it was a good price until Scoot told me that a PlayStation is $400, and obviously these consoles don't have the same fucking games.
Okay,
That's
but the
gotta be
PlayStation
crazy,
got
right?
no games.
Okay, wait. I'm just talking about hardware. That's got to be a little crazy, right? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Name one
Well, I think
PlayStation
you're
5
also
game.
paying.
That's
It's
not
like
what the
Apple.
fuck I just said.
No.
I
It's like
understand
Apple
PlayStation
shit.
games, bro. I get that.
You're paying for the brand.
I don't even think it's that. I think Nintendo has just finally put a good fucking chip in a console for once, and I think the PlayStation is sold at a loss because they expect you to buy games.
Aside from the PlayStation stuff, I think what they packaged into the Switch 2 and what they shown off and what's coming for games, I think this is a reasonable price for the console.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Now for games getting expensive is a whole different discussion.
Yeah, I
but-
agree. That being like $80 or whatever they are.
Yeah,
how
that's
much?
a
That's how much
whole
Mario
different
Kart is?
thing. That's a
That
whole
is
different
crazy.
thing.
Yeah.
Do
But
you
the
believe
Switch is a really well priced console right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
They might
believe-
even actually be selling it at a loss because of just how successful the Switch one was. And
I think they would be if they were selling it at $399, and that's why it's $449.
Because when they were saying the specs mid thing, like I realized I was like, this is not a $400
I didn't
console.
expect 120 FPS.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah, I did
was
not
it.
expect that.
When they were saying stuff like 120 FPS, like you can do like 4K 120 or 1080 120, and handheld was 1080
Can't
60.
do 4K 120.
Guaranteed.
There's
No, sorry,
no 4K
4K
120.
60. Sorry, 4K 60. But like when they
My
were saying
computer
those
can't do
specs,
that.
when they were saying those specs, I was like, guys, this is not $400. This is gonna be like 450,
Yeah,
I would
500.
I would 100% be buying the Switch 2 if it was 4K.
But see, that's the
120.
thing. Everyone wants Nintendo to put out stronger hardware and stop making the shitty games, but then I don't want to pay this much. But that's how it's gonna be.
I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't want
for
to pay
me,
this much
one in the
for the
few.
games is another conversation.
For me, it's the
hardware, you have
games,
to
yeah.
put money up.
So I
to-
think I was talking about this with my roommates a little while ago, actually. But like, game prices have not kept up with like the world at all. Like, games have been $60 full price for like eternity.
Decades.
Like,
Not eternity. Decades.
Like decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the example that we were talking about was like N64 games. Like N64 games were like $60 to $80.
Brother,
That price
in the
now,
80s, you would have to spend 80, like $60 on fucking like Paperboy, and you have to live with that for a month. And you have
Yeah.
to play Paperboy for a month, bro.
dude, a $60
But we could rent.
N64 game back
Maybe
in
Blockbuster should come back.
Yeah,
What was it,
Blockbuster
like-
should come back.
it was like what, 1996? Like
Maybe we've
N64
like progressed.
Uh,
We've progressed so far with technology that everything
90,
costs
it would
so
be
much
like
money.
98-ish.
We need to bring rentals back.
But yeah, you're in that right time frame.
Yeah, so like a $60 N64 game by today's pricing would be $120. So
Yep.
like we're still
And almost
under.
all those games were dog shit, by the way.
And like that was a cheap N64 game. Like the real nice N64 games were like $70, $80, which would be like $160 nowadays.
Bruh, everything
To be
else back
fair,
then,
though-
everything else back then was dirt cheap though.
to be fair, yeah, their consoles were a little bit cheaper.
Bro, fuck all that, bro. Eggs were fucking 10 cents a pop. They fucking
That's
$45
true,
each
yeah,
right now.
No, not even all that. I could walk into a bank and be like, "Can I get a job?"
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like, yeah.
And the N64 was like $170. That'd be like $350.
Yeah, the N64 is a very cheap console.
Yeah.
You know what wasn't? The fucking Super Nintendo.
Wasn't the Game Boy Advance price like crazy? Well,
Mm,
something around that time period.
I don't remember. It might be the Game Boy Color, because I know in that time, like shit was mad expensive for games. Like I know Super Nintendo was so majorly. I don't want to say
Are egg prices
overpriced, but-
actually up in the States? I don't know. Is that like a meme?
Wait, what?
They're up everywhere. They're up here.
No, dude, I just bought 12 extra large ones for $2.99.
Oh, ours went back down then.
I don't know.
They definitely went up here for a while too.
All right, so Roger, what are you going to leak at the Nintendo hands-on experience?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. We, I think, are actually allowed completely to talk about what it is that we're going to play. So when I am there, I don't really have very many restrictions. I will just be able to talk about it, and I even think I'm allowed to stream it.
That's not what I asked. I'm more so like off the record when they show you in the back room, like they always do.
They're not going to do that. Not this time. There's too many other. There's too many other eyes. They're not going to do that.
So next year, when you've moved on from like preaching GameCube NSO for years and years, what's this? What's it going to be now?
New Fire Emblem game. New Fire Emblem game by the Three Houses team.
Bro, I looked it up. GVA SP launch price was $79.99.
Oh yeah, it was $160 handheld.
Man, oh man. Well, I think does that wrap up everything for the direct?
Well, I had something. This is a discussion we had in Shofu's server.
Yeah.
Comparing the Switch to the Switch 2, and if the Switch 2 just feels like a pro upgrade or not. Because I know for me it doesn't, because I had to think about it for a bit. But I think for me it's because the gap of the Switch to what the Switch 2 seems to be feels like almost feels like a console gap to me than just
I agree,
slightly better.
Yeah.
That's because they started in fucking hell, bro.
Yes, I agree with you. It's because the Switch is not like a strong console at all. I 100% agree.
I mean, but it doesn't really matter where they started. It just matters about the gap when it comes to like that kind of comparison.
And it's getting harder and harder for technology to advance too.
Yeah.
Like
we're hitting a wall.
Yeah, that's true.
I really, really hope that like this thing is absolutely using DLSS, and I really, really hope there's a way to turn that off, and I'm not forced into it because I do not want that shit.
You're probably not going to be able to turn it off, just from what I've seen. Then again, we haven't really seen anything from the UI or settings or anything like that. Maybe they'll show it off in Treehouse.
Yeah.
When they went into the menu and showed.
Yeah, I was kind of sad about that.
I don't want DLSS. I don't want AI upscaling. I don't want frame interpolation. This is also
I don't
why
care about DLSS, but those other two things I don't like.
This is why I don't have a 5000 series GPU either, because if if you're not using DLSS on one of those things, you're basically not getting your money's worth, and if you're using DLSS, you're getting hallucinated frames. Like you're
getting indoctrinated by NVIDIA.
DLSS is like an upscaling technology. So it'll be able to make a game that runs at 1080, quote unquote, run at 4K and look good enough. But it's just like tensor cores basically guessing on what it should look like.
Yeah. By definition, it's not 4K. But
if you're using a 5000 series card and you have DLSS turned on, what you end up getting is one frame actually generated by the GPU and then 3 fake ones hallucinated by it. And so if you're playing anything competitive, there's just a chance that you're just gonna like a player's gonna peak and it's gonna be on one of those 3 fake frames and it's not gonna know, and you're just not gonna see it for 3 frames late. Like I care about that shit. Most other people don't care about that shit, but I want to be able to turn that off if it's gonna be like the way that some of these games do 4K or whatever. I don't want that shit.
Maybe it'll be tied to the performance stuff.
Hopefully.
Was Prime 4 the only thing that they showed had a performance and quality mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was the only one.
And it was 4K 60, I think, with HDR in docked mode specifically. They had specific callouts for docked mode versus handheld. Trying to find it really fast. I know it's here. Quality mode, 4K 60 FPS with HDR, handheld mode 1080p 60 FPS with HDR, and then performance mode 1080p 120 FPS HDR, and in handheld 720p 120 FPS HDR.
720 handheld. Okay.
120 FPS though.
I thought you said 60.
No. In performance mode, it's 120 FPS. In quality mode, it's 60 FPS.
Okay.
Just flat.
Yeah.
And then docked versus handheld affects the resolution. We had this era with like Xbox and I think PlayStation, and I'm super excited for now Nintendo fans and console owners, you know, the most casual players of all time, to be like, oh my god, 120 FPS is so smooth, and they're just on a 60 hertz screen that can't actually do it.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed to happen.
I'm like half the people that are gonna be buying the or not. Yeah, I should say buying into the 4K aspect of the Switch, but won't even have the stuff to support the 4K.
4K, I think they will. Like bargain bin TVs are 4K now. Like,
is it just that widespread now? Is everything? Is it just QLEDs the next
4K
thing?
is like really cheap. Yes. Yeah. Once you start getting QLED or OLED, it's way more expensive.
Okay.
You can't find like a 1080 or 1440p TV anymore. It's just impossible. They're all 4K, and like you get like a cheap ass TV, it's gonna be a shitty panel, like a shitty 4K panel, but it's still gonna be 4K. You like can't get away from that with TVs. But like a 120 FPS TV, good fucking luck. Most people are not gonna have that. Anyway, I hope this console is not a potato and that it fixes the input lag problems that the Switch has, because
that's my big other thing.
I'm losing my mind every time I bust out this console, because I do not play my Switch very often anymore. I tried playing Mario Maker last week. I wanted to jump off a cliff. It just felt like garbage.
Mario Maker?
Yeah, the Switch just has awful native input delay.
Huh.
Just baked in, because it's a potato. Like, the first time I ever played Celeste was on Switch, and I started playing it, and I was like, this game is dog shit. I don't know why anybody likes this game. And then I played it on Steam, and I'm like, oh my god, this is one of the greatest platformers of all time. Because the Switch is just poop. Like, that's why Ultimate has like 7 frames of input delay or something.
Yeah. Wild base input delay, because the Switch is just that way. That's like my other big thing. Like, they talked about like you put games into, you know, they have patches or things, but I'm wondering if you just take a Switch game, put it in the Switch 2, will it possibly just run just better, just like off rip, because the consoles are stronger?
I hope.
Maybe. Yeah.
I pray. Like, I would love if the Switch 2 just like fixes Splatoon 3. Like, that would be fantastic. I know we're going to be getting Splatoon 4, but like, I would love if Splatoon 3 just becomes playable on Switch 2 for me.
Thankfully, we don't have that long to find out. We're going to get this thing on June 5th. So
I really hope, though, that with the what are they called? Oh my god, treehouses tomorrow and the following day or whatever it is, that I need them to explain that virtual game card shit more, because I still do not understand the reasoning and concept of it. Like, it baffles me.
Like, it's so, you know, imagine what you would have to do to like share a physical copy of a game with your friend, and now you can do that with a digital game. Like, but you still have to kind of go through like the exact same kind of steps that you would for a physical one. Like, you're going to have to be physically
But it's
present.
not technically with a friend. That's what I'm just like.
I think it's on a family plan. I think, yeah.
Yeah, but you still, like, there's so much stipulation to it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, the weird part I heard is like, if you're someone who has 2 Switches, and you could download the game on both Switches and sign on the account and play, so that you probably can't do. But the part to me, like the thing that makes sense with this, to me at least, is when you send stuff from Switch to Switch 2, and you're just sending it up just one way, and then that seems fine. Or like the family thing, where you can like rent out a game basically to a family member, and then at the set time it just comes back to you.
Yeah,
but other than that, yeah,
I think a lot of people who have like roommates, like, they're probably going to be on like a family group plan. So like, this is a way to be able to share your virtual games like with them or with family members. In the same way that
I got
like,
a whole family group. I feel like I pass them along and switch people out when people need the Switch Online, like extra things. I just like hot people in and hot people out. So
I think
add me on your thing.
I think the like physical
you're
proximity,
literally on mine, Ricky.
I think the physical proximity is a really clever way for them to handle this.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's if you can physically meet in person with like someone who's on your family plan, you can share a virtual game with them. You can share a digital game with them now, which is great, because that was like one of the biggest drawbacks to not having a physical copy, is that you couldn't just lend it to, you know, your brother or your sister, or like your roommate that you live with. Like, they just can't play your games. Like, that sucked. So it's meant to address that.
And I get the limitation because if you could do it online, then people just sharing it with a bunch of people in the group just share it, and then it'd be like, okay, this one person bought this game once, but this person over here can now just play it. So the fact you have to actually meet up, it makes them kind of force it that this is meant for families to do this directly, or if you have a second Switch or a Switch 2 to just move it that way.
And actually, speaking of meet up, I wanted to throw this in before I have
What
to hop out because I
the-
can leave in like
What?
no, hold on.
I heard
I'll explain. You know where I'm going with this. So C2E2 is coming up next Friday. We will be doing a live Japan Time podcast from C2E2. It's going to be who's coming? Me, McDareth, Warchamp, Tito, and Ricky. And we have prizes. We're going to be talking all about the Switch 2, obviously, the Switch 2 Direct, and then also the Switch 2 Experience, because I'll be going to that one in New York. It should be a lot of fun. Very much looking forward to seeing everybody.
I'm making several activities as well.
Well, that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. But with that, I personally have to leave because I have a flight literally in 1 hour. So
Roger,
I feel like this is a good point to end, though. I feel like we touched base on everything.
Real quick, Roger, when's our panel?
The panel is going to be Friday at, I believe it's 12 p.m. Central Time. I think it moved up from, I think it was like 11 to 12. So it's going to be, pretty
that's
early.
crazy. What's that time slot? Is that like the panel?
That's the panel. Yeah.
Is that the opening panel?
Well, okay, so we were the opening panel originally. We were the first opening panel right when the doors open. That is no longer the case. We are now like the second panel before they open the doors for the main room. But either way, it's going to be, I mean, we've got a really good slot. So you guys might have to line up because I know sometimes seats are limited for some of these panels. But they gave us a pretty big room. So I think everyone should be able to get in if you want to get in. So yeah, you're going to be in Chicago.
And give them, whoever shows up at that panel, I don't even remember who's going to that CTE2 panel, but whoever goes and you meet the cast, make sure you give them your current Switch so that we can trade it in to buy the Switch 2.
Correct. Yeah, definitely do that as well. And your social security numbers if you got them would also be super helpful. Yeah,
come get your meetup.
Absolutely.
What?
All right. I got about. Take care, everybody.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Roger, just here. So something else before we end for today. Something that's going on is the Japan Time trading card art contest. So you can enter that. Been some entrants already. Won't comment on them. They try to keep it fair, but yeah. So enter. You can enter as for every single cast member, and Spiff and Mike are included. There's 18 total winning slots. Each winning slot wins. Why am I forgetting? $150. Yeah, that's right. Each winning slot wins $150. You can only win up to 3 slots per person, but you enter as much as you like. The sign up is bit.ly/JT Art Contest. If you'd like to sign up, it's running to the end of April, so there's still time to sign up if you would like to.
All right, someone end the show.
Show's over.
Oh, wait, true?
Yeah.
I got the other one.
What, you fat, you ugly, and you stink? Mother, shut up with your ugly ass. What you think you doing in my country? Yo, ugly, fat, stinking, ugly, and you need to kill yourself. You kill